guys, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another episode of
Green Couch? What's it called? What's it called? Heart to Heart. Welcome to another episode of Heart to Heart.
my husband's just testing me today. Yeah, so in today's episode, what are we going to talk about?
I have no idea. I've asked her.
I told you.
Yeah. She said something on the topic, but then it still hasn't registered, so I don't know.
Okay,
Something about postpartum.
Yes,
something.
yes. So today we are going to talk about postpartum, the reality of it, everything real, but also how postpartum is so different when you don't have your mother, right? And so let's reflect on that. And it's kind of coincidence that I'm wearing the same dress that I wore when we were leaving the hospital. But so did you think after Azika's birth or anywhere throughout, like that first year of Azika, that maybe this would have been a little different if either your mom or my mother were there?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it would have made life so easy.
Yeah.
But because either of them are not there, it's put us in a spot where we had to learn things by ourselves, unlearn so many things.
Yes.
And it's not been easy.
Yeah.
It's definitely a privilege. I mean, sometimes we take our mothers for granted when they're around.
True.
Until they're not, and then we know what a big void.
Yes. It's a void that no one can fill.
Yeah.
And for me especially, it was very weird, I would say, because it's not like my mom passed away like 2-3 years back or 4-5 years back. My mom passed away like 22 years back. And do you remember how my pregnancy brains just remember this one dish that she was making? So I think I threw up for 8 months.
Yeah.
I threw up for 8 months and I had absolutely no cravings, and very rarely I would crave something, but weirdly something that I never remembered, my pregnancy brain remembered, and I was craving it all the time. That's all I could think of for weeks.
It was a meat roast.
It was this roast that she would make, and I couldn't stop thinking about that. I wanted it, and in my mind I had this taste. Right, I had this taste, and so my brother had to make a few calls here and there and figure out the recipe, and he made it. Now the smell was very similar, but I was so scared to taste it, because if it didn't match what I remembered, that would have like really made me feel really bad. I would have started crying, but thankfully my brother actually nailed that recipe. So it's weird how when you are pregnant, like I keep telling this, that once you have your child, once you become a mother, you miss yours the most. And for Deepak and I, it was very difficult, because otherwise also we have just Rachu when you talk about female figure at home, and she is pretty young, she's 24, and we had only men around, and I was such underconfident, scared. I was a nervous wreck. I think after we came back from the hospital, I just couldn't deal with it. Like it was too overwhelming. But Deepak stepped up, and it almost felt like he's done this before. And every time I would ask him, like, how did you do it? Do you have a child somewhere?
Secretly somewhere. There's a few somewhere around there.
And Deepak, of course, at that time didn't tell, but when I kind of gained my confidence, one day I asked Deepak, like, how did you manage to do everything, whether it was holding Azika or changing her, feeding her, whatever it is. And he said he was really scared, but he had to step up because I was such a nervous wreck. Like, I feel really bad because for the first, I think at least 2 months, Azika got a really nervous, scared, underconfident. I wouldn't move. Like if she was on me, I wouldn't move. And I really if and when we do have a second one, the second one will...
Correction. When we do
have a second one, I feel like my second one will get such a confident and she knows it and all of that. But the
I
reason,
think that's the case with all new mothers.
yeah, but I'll tell you why I'm bringing this up is because when you have your mother, she's that confident.
Yeah.
She brings that confidence in you, right?
Yeah.
Something as simple as latching and all of that, I really struggled with it. Like
food that you need.
Yeah, I really struggled with those things. But you know, like if you have your mother.
No, when I say that, I mean your mother knows what she's had to help with lactation,
milk
when it comes to strengthening your body and all of that. For us, it was a new experience. We had to learn. We had to ask others.
Yeah.
Even our family members had to ask others.
Yeah.
So it was always fear of, okay, are we getting the right information? Can we trust that information? Because it wouldn't be the case with your mother.
Because I remember, like when Azika was about 10 days old, you had this big project, and I knew how much you loved doing this thing, and you had asked me if it was okay for you to take it, and I said yes. But every time you were not at home, I was so scared, I was so nervous. I would just sit in one spot and not move if Azika was sleeping on me and things like that. And I think those were the times I missed having a mother the most, because you know, any movement Azika would do, I would like freak out thinking, is this normal? Is this supposed to happen? And all of that. So there was no like someone with experience who could tell you that no, this is normal. Oh, this is fine. This is chill.
Yeah.
Or you know, someone who could just pick her up and do stuff and all of that. Of course, I did have, we did have people around us, but we didn't have people around us who had experience.
Yeah.
Right, and that's where mothers play like a very, very important role. Even in terms of giving, you know, the daughters the confidence that you can do it. Like it's easy, like you just have to learn it. It's not a big deal and all of that.
Emotional support.
Yeah. For us, we mostly had to rely on our knowledge. Like throughout my pregnancy, I did read a lot. I did do a lot of research. I read a lot of studies and all of that. But when it comes to practicality, it's so different. And the reason I say I'm much more, I am very confident now is because for us it was trial and error with everything.
Yeah.
We did take risks in some things and it did work out in our favor, but a lot of the things we know right now is us.
Yeah.
Like nobody taught it to us. We had to teach that to ourselves and do it. But shout out to all the husbands, like even you. I don't think I would have survived my postpartum without you. Like you really stepped up. You took care. You would work for hours outside and then you'd come home and take care of Azika, and I'm extremely grateful for that. Yeah. And again, I missed your mom too, because it was what, 1 year since she had passed. I was pregnant for the first year anniversary, so it was close to 2 years. It was pretty recent when Azika was born. Because remember, we took Azika.
For our first anniversary, Azika was there.
No. For Mummy's first year death anniversary, I was pregnant.
Yeah.
I'm talking about that, not thing.
Okay.
And close to Mummy's second thing, Azika was born. So it was pretty early, like pretty recent. So I also wish that your mother was there, because again, I would have got some support, because for me, I didn't have the mother support, I didn't have the mother-in-law support, and it was very, very difficult. Like
how unfortunate are you?
Yeah, how unfortunate. But that was really like sad, and there were days when I would just cry to you about it, because it was too overwhelming for me. It was too remember, I recently, 2 days back, I told you that when we came back home from the hospital, I wanted to back out.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be a mother because I was scared. I was scared about everything. But you find the strength and you go on. But it's amazing to have a partner who can really support you through this. And that is, it doesn't completely fill the void, but it is still such a big, support emotionally and physically, that it gets you through these tough periods. Because honestly, I've been through endo flare-ups and all of that, but postpartum had to be the most difficult phase.
One thing that people don't know is that fathers play a very, very important role during postpartum.
Yeah.
This thing of dad body that we get teased about is actually a term given to someone who becomes a dad. And the reason why his body changes is because he needs the energy and the strength to take care of his newborn and his wife.
Yeah.
Which is why there is a hormonal change that happens in a man that causes him to put on weight so that he has the needed energy to fuel his body during the nights and the days
Yeah.
to take care of the child and his healing wife.
Yeah.
So by nature, men have a very important role during postpartum to take care of their newborns. Ultimately what happens, or at least in this generation, or the norm has become that the mother's responsibility is to take care of the child.
Yeah.
But the mother's responsibility for the first quarter at least
Yeah.
is to just rest and recover
Yeah.
while the father's taking care. But yeah, because of work and because of our schedules,
Yeah. Or some men just don't want to deal with it.
so for all of those reasons, it's dumped on the mothers to do it.
Yeah.
And which is why the grandmothers also sort of take it up on themselves to be there, to facilitate, to take care and all of that. It becomes a family affair.
Yeah.
But actually speaking, the men need to be the ones stepping up,
Yeah.
and the men are the ones that need to take care of the baby. Except for the feeding, I think everything else can be taken care by the man,
Yeah.
while the mothers just recover.
Yeah.
But then the practicalities of working and all of that, of course now
No, but
companies
you
are
were also working.
but
You were working for like 6, 7, 8 hours sometimes.
yeah
You would come back home and then take care of Azika.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we didn't. With Azika, sleep wasn't an issue. For at least the first 4 months, she would sleep for 8 hours straight. So everyone knows we're not. She would sleep for 8 hours straight. So we didn't have issues with sleep. So that way we weren't like exhausted.
Yeah.
But because I had 2 surgeries, I was going through a lot
Yeah.
of pain physically, and
Yeah.
because of that, I think for the first 2 months, I never carried Azika. Like, I would never bend and pick her up because I had so much pain around my stomach and back area. But and also Azika was a little big child. She was a big baby, so that way I kind of struggled. But like as much as we'd like to say that postpartum is, like, everyone knows postpartum is difficult and all of that, but when you're actually experiencing it is when you will know how difficult it is and how lonely I'm sorry guys, and how lonely you suddenly start feeling. It's very weird. I had you with me all the time, but I would still cry to you.
When someone is going through pain, they are lonely.
Yeah.
Because nobody can share that pain.
Yes.
We can only try to encourage or support that person.
Yeah.
But when you're in pain, you're the loneliest.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was like pretty difficult. And like generally postpartum is difficult, but when you don't have your mother by your side, I feel like it's even more difficult. At least some people have mother-in-laws, but
No,
I
but
didn't have that also.
I must say that even if your mothers are there are some people who are abroad or living elsewhere away from their family, and your mothers are not able to be there. So the kind of effort that goes into it
Yeah.
is the same. And so hats off to those people
Yeah, who do it all by
who
themselves.
do it by themselves.
Yeah.
But if you have the privilege of having your mothers or your family with you, don't try to do it by yourself.
Yeah.
As much as we have this desire that, okay, my child, I'll take care of my child myself, I can do it and it's a achievement, blah blah blah, I think you shouldn't. Because I know a few people who are so protective of their child, they don't want even their parents to come and see the child or take care of the child, and they are sort of burning themselves out to the extent where it might be too late.
Yeah.
And it's not fair for the baby as well as the parents.
Yeah, because sooner or later your body is going to catch up with all the exhaustion and tiring nights and all of that. And then there's no point, because you will be able to take care of your baby only if you are feeling recharged and you have the energy, right? So I know the number of times when Deepak has taken care. I mean, of course, now it's pretty difficult with her being so clingy, but before that, she was only like that pocket monkey on Deepak all the time. She just wanted Deepak. She just wanted to be holding him.
I miss that,
You do?
Now she is so difficult. She wants me all the time. And she's constantly clingy to her. She doesn't want me to carry her.
It's just a phase, everyone keeps telling that the minute she turns 2 or something, she's going to become so over possessive about you. I think it's just a matter of time. But yeah, like Deepak would hold her for hours sometimes previously, and I would take a nice nap and get up, because Azika would sleep for 8 hours straight. I would constantly have clogged milk ducts, because that whole night she wouldn't feed, and my doctor told us not to wake her up to feed her. Like, feed her only if she's demanding. So I would constantly have clogged milk ducts, and that would bring fever. Right? Like, constant, I would have fever. Every other day I would have fever. So Deepak would just take her and be like, I'll put her to sleep and all of that. You take a nice nap and rest and take dolo and stuff like that. So that way your husband's support also is very, very, very important. See, I think it goes hand in hand. Like, if you have your mother and no husband support also, that also makes you feel extremely like lonely and like, oh, doesn't he care types. But if you have just husband and no mother also, it's difficult. So I think this husband and mother and family support, like that balance should be there. Yeah. And I think people who have both this support should be so grateful that thing, because some of us don't have it, and a phase that is already so difficult becomes even more difficult to get through. And and I was diagnosed with postpartum anxiety then, and I had to take medication for it to deal with it. Of course, that was a completely different reason why I think I was diagnosed with postpartum anxiety. But like, as much as we think that, I always thought I had it under control. Before I delivered Azika, I really thought I had it under control, but I didn't. I was a complete mess for the first 1.5 months. I think I was complete mess, and after that I slowly built up my confidence, and I was able to do things. Now I like me as a mother. I think I don't know, like, you should tell me if I'm a good mother or not.
You're a great mother, hands down.
See, I didn't think back then, I would become this person. I thought I'd always be this nervous wreck. So if you are going through postpartum and you feel lonely and you feel like you don't have it under control, you're going through these overwhelming feelings, you're not able to understand anything, just know that it's matter of few months. You will kind of grow out of those feelings. You will become much more confident. And if you are a guy watching this, nothing like your support, because the woman is going through a lot of pain and all of that, uneasiness, difficulty, and different sensations. Like, even breastfeeding is a very unfamiliar and a very different sensation.
So no one talks about it. It is such a difficult thing. It is not easy. My goodness. I've not heard of it, but when I experienced it with our child, and all the things that you went through and the kind of pain that it causes, and wow, people need to talk about this. People need to,
like, husbands need to know that this is how difficult it is. Like, even a few days back, I had a clogged, maybe 2-3 weeks back, out of nowhere I had a clogged milk duct, and for me, the minute it is clogged, I like I have fever and all of that. And TMI, but my husband's learned how to massage it in a certain way and all of that, because it's so painful. You don't have the guts to do it yourself. Right? Deepak has learnt how to massage it and unclog it and all of that. And again, sometimes I feel like if Deepak is not around, if not for Deepak, I don't know how I'd go through these difficulties and
so basically we're going to call this episode Postpartum with Paul Deepak. Right? That fits better.
Yeah. You're a good husband.
Thanks. Going back to the point, to those who are actually going through postpartum alone, and even with support, it is difficult. Try talking to somebody, just to vent out, just to get some kind of moral support, just to know that there are people who care for you and who's there to hear you out.
Yeah.
Those kind of things really go a long way.
Yeah.
So don't hold back and don't go through it by yourself.
Yeah. Because as much as we complain about it and all of that, that doesn't mean you don't love your child. I love Azika. I love being a mother. I love every second of it. But I also have days where I absolutely dread it, and I'm so exhausted, and I'm just like, sometimes I look at Deepak and I say, I scream sometimes saying, I need a break. I need a break from you. I need a break from your daughter and all of that. But you need people in your life who are not going to judge you, who are not going to be like, oh, but you're a mother, you have to do it. You have to go through it.
Yeah, and it's not wrong to want that break, because there have been times where Miriam goes out with her friend.
Yeah.
Sometimes for a few hours, and I try handling Azika. And she needs that break.
Yeah.
And I think all mothers need that break. As a husband to your postpartum wife, the best gift you can give her is some time away from her child.
Yeah, because see, that time will also make her a better wife.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Your is so like underconfident, say like I have like a gun unpointed.
Yeah.
But that break will also make you a better friend. Like you will be better in every other areas of your life as well. Right? You'll be a better mother, you'll be a better wife, better sister, better daughter and all of that. Because what's the point of being so exhausted, snapping at everybody, snapping at your own child and all of that? You might as well take off that. You don't need hours and hours, even 1 hour of doing nothing.
Yeah.
Just rolling on the bed and scrolling through Instagram or just being on phone also is very, like it really recharges you.
Yeah.
That time. You remember sometimes I just take 10 minutes off.
Yeah.
And I come back a different person.
Yeah.
Because having a child is overwhelming. Having a child is hard work. Right? And if you're doing it all by yourself, then it's even more difficult on you physically, mentally, emotionally. So
one thing to make it easy is to be less paranoid about everything. Don't be overprotective. Our madam here is overprotective about every single thing under the sun. Azika shouldn't fall down. She'll always be behind, and it makes every day difficult. So don't be over paranoid about your child. Your child is strong. Your child is created to go through and handle a lot of things, to adapt and to learn. So I love it. Just be at peace. The more you worry, the more you stress about these things, it sort of becomes more on you for you to deal with.
Don't you agree? I am much better than how I used to be, like when she was 3-4 months.
Yeah.
Like now I'm completely different. Like I let people take her and spend time with her. I'm not constantly. You remember how I would be before? Like if someone took her.
And don't you agree that now you're a little less stressful than how much you
and
used
that's
to be
also
back then?
like shaping her personality really well. She's such a social kid, and she loves socializing with people. She loves meeting people. She's not cranky. She's not crying all the time. She's not fussy. So I think that way Deepak is much more of a sorted out dad than I am. because he from the beginning was very, very like, you would insist on letting people take her. And when I say people take her, I don't mean everybody. Like in church and all of that, people we know, people we trust.
Mind you, what she's saying is done with a lot of wisdom.
Yeah.
It's not done in foolishness.
Yeah.
With a lot of faith, with a lot of prayer over our child, and with a lot of wisdom.
Yeah. And now she's a fun kid to be with.
Yeah.
People love having Azika around, and all of that. So yeah, I am a little paranoid now because she started walking and she sometimes wants to run. I'm scared she's going to like lose balance and like hit her face or something. But
yeah.
Whenever I'm paranoid like that, I just let Deepak handle it, and I'm not there in scene. So if I'm not looking at it, then I'm not paranoid. So I let Deepak deal with that. Like today she wanted to walk in the garden and I was not okay with it, so I just came in and Deepak was out with her. So that way you should be able to trust your partner, I think. And that's why fathers being involved is so important, because when I go out with my friends, I don't have to give Deepak 10,000 instructions as to do this, do that, and all of that. I remember when she was pretty young, I think 3 months, 4 months, I went out and I came back home and Azika was fed, she was given a bath, she was completely clean, and she was just a happy child. And I was so happy that Deepak was able to do that without me having to give him 10,000 instructions saying ye karo, wo karo, do this, do that. And that's why it's very important for the father to be involved. Yeah. And Azika, I mean, as much as she's clingy right now, if I'm not around and she doesn't see me, she really enjoys your company.
Consolation prize.
It's just a phase. Someday she's going to turn and be like, I only want my dada. But it's weird, guys. Like the minute she wakes up in the morning, she like dada.
Yeah.
Dada. That's all.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun.
How do you feel having a daughter? Like that was your biggest dream, I think.
Yeah, having a daughter was something I prayed and manifested and put my hand on her belly and said, if there's anything that you can remove to make her a daughter, do it, Lord. And make sure that,
yeah,
I badly wanted a daughter.
See, a lot of times people think that we are being like, we are having problems
Joey,
with being having a boy and all of that. No, we do want to have a boy also, but then we wanted our first experience to be with a girl.
Yeah.
Right? We wanted the first one to be a girl. After this, Jesus is allowed to give whatever.
No, now boy, come on, you can do it.
Yeah, sometimes we joke about Azika being a girl is like a last minute decision that God made, because she's mostly like a boy most of the times. The things she does and all of that is very boyish and she's very tough like that. So I keep telling Deepak that it's all because of how much you prayed that Jesus was like, okay, fine, last minute, change. But yeah,
it's great being parents.
Yeah.
For those who are thinking of, it's going to be difficult, I don't want it and all of that, in the right time, of course, nothing is in our hands.
It is difficult, but it's very fulfilling.
Yeah.
I mean, the love you have for your child is very different from any other kind of
your whole perspective to
love.
life changes.
Yes.
And the way you see life is different, and how you react to circumstances and situations change.
You suddenly become extremely selfless.
Yeah.
You suddenly become extremely patient, extremely tolerant, and that's just amazing. Yeah. I think I enjoy being Azika's mom. Because she's just so fun. Like
Son, if you're watching this, Daddy was rooting for you even before you were born. Your mother wanted only Azika.
Hey, what do you mean?
You're always saying Azika.
Yeah, when I have a son, I'll say son. We have a name in mind. Just don't want to reveal it now. But careful, that corner.
Okay, can you take her out?
Can you come here?
No.
Can you come here? Bring her, Rachu.
Why are you all here?
Yeah, Joey. Hi. Kana, say hi, Kana. Jana, say hi. She's just so interested with Rachu.
Take her out, please.
Rachu is like a good aunt. Yeah.
Yeah, so episode 2 will be on husbands with postpartum wives and their difficulties and struggles and what they go through and what they have to hear and what they have to deal with.
You've thought about it. Hey, listen, when you're that emotional, when you're having so many hormonal, I didn't mean most of it that time, but was I?
Oh, no.
Was I like rude,
No,
harsh,
I mean,
harsh?
emotional, yes.
Yeah.
A lot of things sort of troubled you, put you off. But you were in control.
I wasn't cray, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing I always make sure to control is my mood swings.
Yeah. So,
But I'd like to tell you that you are a very good husband.
Rachu, we're recording, we can hear you. These windows are open. No, you should just go somewhere. Go out somewhere.
Just 2 minutes. Like, you're a... Now I don't feel like...
Hey!
No, but you're a very good husband. But you're an even more amazing father. I always thought you'd be a good father. But, like, I pray that every girl has a father like you. He does all this drama and then he'll cry off camera. Yeah, I also pray that girls get a husband like you too. You're a very, very, very good husband. And I'm extremely grateful, and whenever I pray, I thank God for you.
Thank you for saying that. I mean, it validates the efforts and...
You know, off topic, you are also a very good brother.
Brother, no?
Yeah, you're an extremely amazing and understanding
Heard
brother.
that? All these
She
ones
might
you
not
won't be
agree.
there. Okay.
But yeah.
Thank you for saying that. It just affirms the efforts and validates my beliefs and what I stand for and what I strive to do. But I could not have done or been what I am today if not for you. It's like you brought it out. You gave me a reason to be who I am.
Yeah.
You gave me a platform to be who I am. So,
But also
because in my past relationships, I didn't have the scope to be who I am today.
Yeah.
It had to be with the right person so that I could be who I am today. So hats off to you for your patience, for your kindness, for the kind of mother that you are. There's a lot I'm learning from you also.
Yeah, but I think you are who you are is because of the love you have for God. That has really made you the person you are. Because a man who loves God so much cannot be any other way. This is how he is supposed to be. This is how God has designed you to be. So, yeah, all glory to God. With that, I think we are done. It's pretty noisy. Like summer holidays have started, so kids are everywhere, which is really nice. We really enjoy watching kids play outside. Don't be sitting in front of a screen.
Except when you're watching
Us. Yeah, kids are not watching us, so it's fine. Adults can get screen time.
But they don't give chance for me to play. Keep going and asking. They don't let me.
Yeah, because see, right now we are at an age where they see us as uncle and auntie.
No, but the heart is still young.
Yeah, but they
The
don't
body
care.
looks
For
like
them,
that.
for them, they're like, oh, uncle and auntie, right? Like
Oh.
now, I've just accepted. If someone calls me auntie, auntie. Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and we will meet you guys again. My husband just acts pricey every time I tell him to come for a heart-to-heart now. So.
She doesn't. Oh, no, never mind. She doesn't pay me, so. Okay, yeah. Thank you for listening to us. I hope we sort of maybe helped or encouraged
Or related to you in any
or
way.
related to you and anything that you're going through. Thank you again for listening to us. See you again in another episode of Heart to Heart. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.
Hello, that's just me.
Why? I also give you.
No, my girls want only mine.
No. Cut.